Start our meeting today.
Yeah, so. I want to know. So again, everybody knows me here, but we do have a little Zoom going here, so. My name is Officer McAndrew. I'm from the 9th District. I'm a CAPS officer in the 9th District. I've been in the CAPS office now about 7, 8 years now. Yeah, I know. I remember when I first got in, I was new, asking questions and everything, and within 7 years, I think I'll be the senior officer as of September 15th with Carol Clark Daves. I'll be in there the longest. Time flies real quick, so.
Dorothy Nowicki, 915B facilitator.
Bernie Farrell, 915 Cold B facilitator.
Nicole Lee, Alderman 1140.
Officer O'Hara, DCO in the 9th District.
Maggie Fanukin, 913B facilitator.
Okay, so
Those guys.
I'm gonna go over
Yeah,
this.
yeah, you're gonna get them?
Don't worry. Don't worry, they're gonna make, I told them each 10 minutes speak.
Got the stats on my phone, sir, right?
Okay.
You got AI, you got AI on your phone.
I'll introduce them in a second. I want to go over to stats first, because it's gonna lead into something else, so. All right, so we're gonna go over to stats. So the last time we did the stats, of course, was back in May, was our last meeting, May 9th. Okay. So from May 9th to 11th of July, today, 9/13, we had a total calls of service of 245 calls of service. Now, I don't think the community member that was here last time, remember I mentioned that I was going to CIP training that week. So they asked, well, how many mental health calls? All right. So for mental health calls, in that 2 months, we got 16 mental health calls. 5/8, 9/13. Okay. Shots fired calls, we had 62 shots fired calls, and there was a total of 17 arrests made on the beat during this time. So for violent crimes, there were 7 violent crimes that occurred. Okay. There was one shooting that occurred. This occurred on the 11th of June, around the area of 900 West 32nd Place at about 1:50 a.m. This was gang related. The victim was standing around the middle of the block. Shots came from around closer to the Lufanica area. Got the victim. They actually got the victim in the neck, and the victim was taken in critical condition to the hospital. Okay. We do know within like 32nd, 33rd and Morgan, you had the Land Kings that are there, and then you have the Satan Disciples, the SDs that are actually behind our police station at the homes behind there, and they've been going at it for years. So that's what happened with that shooting. Now, there's also 2 criminal sexual assaults that occurred on the beat. All right. Now, one of these, I usually mention it, criminal sexual assault and family related, or if the person knows each other. But this criminal sexual assault report was a little bit different. Okay. The victim was taking their garbage out, and a van pulled up. 2 males came out of the van, blindfolded the victim, and then gagged her, put her in the van, and there was a criminal sexual assault that occurred in the van. Reading the report, it seemed like this victim did know these offenders, but I can't really go into it, but it seemed like the victim did know the offenders, which doesn't make it right. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think this was as random as I thought it was when I first started reading it, but this did happen in this area, and it happened on 01 July around 5 p.m. Okay. Then the second criminal sexual assault, and I always try to mention this, and this goes along with the plans I was seeking at September, October, November to the officers about criminal sexual assaults. A lot of times the victim knows the offender. This victim met up with the offender, drinking was involved, and the criminal sexual assault occurred. And that goes along the line, I think. There was an organization that did a study on this. They said 2 out of every 3 criminal sexual assault victims, they know each other. They meet up, they might meet up at clubs, bars and stuff, and criminal sexual assault. Okay. Then there was also 1 battery on the beat and 3 robberies that occurred on the beat. Now for property crimes, this isn't gonna be a surprise. There was 24 property crimes in 2 months. 13 of them are motor vehicle thefts, okay? I spoke at Alderman Coleman's monthly meeting for her constituents. And one of the beats in 1 month had 15 motor vehicles. Okay, this is a big problem. It's not just a big problem in Chicago, it's a big problem all over. I'm starting to see the bigger carjacking down because they figure it's a lot easier just to steal the Hyundais and Kias. Okay, now I have a Hyundai. They just sent me something in the mail about getting the security thing put in your vehicle. I don't know if it worked. They told me it's free. I need to take it now, but I'm gonna get it done. Every little step. Maybe get that, we don't have any more, what is it?
Clubs.
The club. We don't have any more clubs in our district, but still go get a club. Maybe it's not gonna stop them, but it might slow them down. Maybe they'll look at the car and go, I don't wanna deal with this, I'll go get the next one. You just never know. Not a foolproof by any means whatsoever, but it could slow them down and maybe slow them down enough to stop them from messing with your car. Okay. Now for feet, 915. Total calls of service were 208 calls of service. Mental health calls we had on the beat were 14. Shot fire calls were 26, and there was 24 arrests made on the beat. Okay. Now, there was 5 shootings that occurred on the beat. Or 6 shootings, excuse me. 5 of them were within Wentworth Gardens over the last month. All right. We know that there is always conflict, gang conflicts in that area, drug dealing within the Wentworth Gardens homes. We've spoke with Alderman Dow, we've done meetings, they've switched security, you know, we've done different things with them throughout the years. One of the big problems we're having too is a lot of these drug dealers, a lot of these gang leaders now are kind of taking over senior citizen units. All right. Sometimes they'll help them pay rent or do things like that, but they're basically taking over the senior citizen units, forcing their way in there and then doing their things out of these units or in that area. Wentworth Gardens, we've had meetings with them and we are circumventing the situation. But that's going on right now there, and there's still a lot of gang activity in the area. We have had officers who have done special missions within that area, and there was 2 gun arrests that occurred. Okay, this one gets kind of a little bit cautious because the one arrest occurred in the area of 200 West 38th Street on 31 May at about 5 p.m. Officers are doing their regular routine. They were focused on Wentworth Gardens. They see a group of people standing together. They go up to them, chase pursues. They finally find 2 offenders that they arrested. One of the offenders had a handgun on them, and they had it where they had it with a switch put on the gun to make it an automatic gun. So those things are still out there, okay? And then another gun was recovered. But that's kind of the things that were still out there. You still had the extended clips with the automatic switches put on these handguns. All right, so that's what's going on there. So for violent crimes, like I said, there was 5 shootings, or there's 6 shootings, because the other. Yes, Another shooting that occurred at 33rd and Lowell. Alright.
Weird.
What we really want to get out to the community is, if you see something that's normally not going on in your area, if you see two cars driving around at 2 AM with guys with masks, wearing masks, circling your block over and over and over again, call 911. Alright, these vehicles, from what I know, I think Katie, you might know a little more, I'm not sure.
I just got that for a
Oh,
little
yeah, that's right.
bit, so
Okay.
I'm not very helpful on that.
Alright, so, but they were driving around in circles. The victim, which I said before, police don't do, went out in front of them and said, what are you guys doing? And that's when they shot at the victim. Okay? Call 911, give the best descriptions. Worst that can happen is police come out, just investigate it. What if they were in trouble for something and needed help with something, you know, there's always other things that can happen. But at least get the police in the area, at least if they see the police in the area, they might get them out of there. Okay, so anything you see, anything, you know, I think at 4 or 2 in the morning, two cars just keep circling the block with people wearing masks, they might go off the red flag.
You want to,
Yeah, of course.
obviously, they're probably not wearing masks, but even if you do call and it's something innocent, they're looking for parking. You know, they wanna park near each other, who knows what it is? It's not like we're gonna harass them, hey, you guys good, what's going on? Oh, we're just trying to find parking, okay, cool. Doesn't hurt to call us, you know?
And I think calls, as I understand it, calls workplace, because I think that the police may have been aware that there was a vehicle circling. But I was told that the car came back around second time. Was that?
It's usually, so what I see a lot is. I read all the reports, you know, just the quick updates on. We saw this car circle, it came back around a second time, and that's when something was sued. So. You know, if somebody, the other option, it's always a good option too, if something seems weird, go inside. Safer inside than out, so, and calls. That's all.
I mean, this was the 4th of July too, so I know it was busy the whole night, that night.
That's true.
Um, Then. So slowly occurred now, okay, so then we had one criminal sexual assault that occurred on the beat. Now, this report, I think, there was 2 reports made on the other criminal sexual assault I said before. But for some reason, we had 2 reports with the same victim, so. But one of the reports was done at the hospital. So there were 7 robberies that occurred, 5 of them were on the CTA platform. Alright, so I know I touched on that before. Add 360 awareness when you're on the red line, when you're on that's what's going on. 5 of the robberies.
Were they at the same station?
Yes,
35th.
Yeah, it's the only one in that week.
yeah. Now for property crimes, 40 property crimes, 29 were motor vehicle thefts. So again, this isn't just a problem. And it's not even, I could say, okay, within a 4-block radius, this is going on, it's all over the place.
Was it carjackings or stolen cars?
Thefts, motor vehicle thefts,
Not high.
No, person hurt.
no,
And were they mostly Kia and Hyundai?
a lot of them were, but still other cars were stolen. Like I said, any little thing you can do, and don't leave important stuff in the car either. Cause you get those reports, my computer was falling out, my window was broken out, money was taken out, you know, little things like that even. But at this point, I would not keep that much in your vehicles. That's just what's going on.
The
right
40
now.
property crimes, is that, and I think I just have my boundaries a little mixed up here. Does that include all of those cars that were broken into overnight along,
That would have been
What,
14.
is that 914?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's 2,900.
okay, got it.
Yeah,
Sorry to bring that up.
yeah, well, that'll be for 14, say that for 14, yeah.
Yeah.
So then there was 10 thefts that occurred on the beat. and then one burglary that occurred. So all in all, those are the numbers. Like I said, with the motor vehicle thefts are pretty much the biggest thing that's going on right now. Okay, and that's just not here, that's everywhere in the city. Oh, no. So I do wanna just go over a couple things. One, National Night Out with Cats. It's one of the big things we do every single year, all right? And we're really trying to build not just our Cats office in the ninth district, but citywide. So reason why I want to introduce these officers now, and they can stand up and introduce themselves. So what they're doing now too is when you go through your cycles, when you get out of the academy, you usually go to your district and then you're stuck on midnights and then you're stuck on days or you're put on days. You think, oh, this is great, I can see the light. Then you're on afternoons and you're pretty much on afternoons or midnights for the first 5, 6, 7 years of your career. That being said, they're now putting the recruits for a couple weeks in the CAT's office too, to come out and see the B meetings, to come out and meet a lot of the different groups we work with, to sit with each officer. Like for example, I do the domestic violence, so I kind of show them what I do. Okay, we have our business officers, we have our senior officers. All right, so they sit with them, they learn from them, they get to see what we do on the day-to-day basis for a couple of weeks. All right. So, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Officer Zepeda, I live in the 8th district, but it's a pleasure to be here, get to know what the CAPS office does before we head out there in the streets. It's a good community interaction. And I've enjoyed it so far, talking to the kids and trying to build that relationship with the police and the community to get them to, trust us as police officers. So and then, like they said before, I think one of the big issues is a lot of people don't trust the police. So, they hesitate to call, or they see something going on. They either think, oh, I don't trust them, or, I think they're busy, this is not a big deal. It is a big deal, no matter what, the child police department is gonna be busy. So, I think it's just best to, if you see something, say something, and they say that all the time. Thank you.
Good job.
So my name is Officer Dixon. We've been out of the academy now for about 2 weeks, and I gotta say I'm gonna miss being on days. So I'm enjoying this now while I can. But honestly, one thing that I do appreciate about the time that we spent in CAPS is we got to see in a very short amount of time the impact that we can make just by showing up. And I know it might seem kind of, for lack of a better term, hopeless in certain situations. Every time you turn around, you see something on the news, social media. Oh, well, this is happening, carjacking, shootings. Not enough police. They don't care. Yes, we do. I don't care how busy you think we are. It is literally our job. If you see something or you feel, hey, officer, I gotta tell you something, literally do not hesitate to come up to us. Another thing that I also love is the fact that even we have learned necessarily not everything that we see in the media is true. Oh, F the police and blah, blah, blah. Like you guys have been so welcoming to us, and we really do appreciate that. So, honestly, this has been, I think, the best 2 weeks of policing possible, and that's all because of you guys. So thank you for that.
I'm Officer Guega. I actually live in the 12th district, right next door. Before joining the police, I actually worked for the White Sox, so I'm kind of familiar with the area. I like the area. It's kind of nice being here. I always knew what CAPS meetings were, but I never actually attended one until today. So it's nice seeing that people care about the community and they come out and voice their opinion to hear what we have to say, I guess.
Thank you. We also have 3 people in the Zoom room. So we have Colleen, Julie, and Gail.
Oh, okay.
Hello, ladies.
So, with that. Having these officers here, they're trying to really showcase caps and trying to build that relationship. We need everybody. National Night Out, August 1st. We want everybody to come out. It is a very good time. From 5 to 8 p.m. at Davis Square Park, which is at easy 4500 South Marshfield. Last year, we had 400 people out there. We actually at one point had the mayor, the superintendent, the person below the superintendent, I forgot that title, commander, deputy chiefs, everybody, you name it, they came out to our, because we normally have, what about it, Maggie? We normally have a really big turnout.
Right.
So we're hoping for that again. We have a lot to do with seniors, we're gonna have bounties for kids, we're gonna have food and everything, so. Just pass the word, just come out and say hi, doesn't matter how long you guys stay. Just come out and say hi.
Station.
We are working on getting a bus from the station. So we ordered it today to just meet at 31st. I meet at about 4:30, go up there, stay for an hour or two, and then bring everybody back to the station. Okay. Then finally, we have would be facilitators for this meeting right here, 13 and 15. But you know, anybody that lives in any other different beat, around the closest beat around this area that you really need to be facilitator is beat 912. That's one of our big speeds. We used to have, what was there?
Is that McKinley?
Yes, we had Glenn.
Yeah, that's in McKinley Park area.
Yeah, we had Glenn and his lovely wife who for years probably had one of the biggest meetings. They would have a good 50, 60 people there at every meeting. They ran a great meeting and, they retired, they moved out, they think they moved to, not Lyle, but they moved out west suburbs. They've been gone for a while now, so. We've been needing a good beat facilitator on their beat. That's probably the closest. 25 beat, 925 has facilitators, 13 and 15 have facilitators, 14 has facilitators. So if you know anybody that's closer to the McKinley Park area, that might be interested, please have them call the station. All right.
Actually, if anybody knows anyone citywide, they are down 173 beat facilitators for the whole city. So you guys that live in 8, you know anybody, your neighbors or anything, you could refer them to the CAPS office in that district, 12, wherever. Citywide, they're short people that want to volunteer and do this, so they're out there. So if you know somebody else that would like to have so much fun and be so loved by their neighbors, here we are.
Okay, hi, everybody. I'm gonna give just a couple of updates, things that have been going on in and around the ward. Not necessarily crime related or safety related, but you know, we did get calls about the shooting at 33rd and Low. We're aware of a problem house at 36th and Low as well, where everybody's aware of and we're keeping an eye on. If anybody's got questions about that one in particular, that house was supposed to be auctioned off, and now it's back in court, so it's not sold. The family's in a dispute over ownership right now. But we've put it on everybody's radar. I think for those of you who have been around this long enough, you understand the process that it takes, unfortunately, to get somebody out of a property. The property is well kept. It's not, I mean, you would not know it otherwise, to look at this place from the outside. I wanna, I think, first address this public safety issue at the White Sox Park. There was an incident where a vehicle plowed through the crowd and injured, miraculously did not kill anybody, but 4 people were injured. And you may have seen a story in Block Club yesterday, addressing this. I held a meeting, with OEMC, with the White Sox and with CDOT, and with CPB. It took us a little while to get all the schedules worked out, but, it was my commitment to have this conversation with all of the experts, around public safety in that area, pedestrian safety and cyclist safety in particular.